So we're live.
Hi.
Hi. So my name is Mónica, as you know. I think some people know. If you don't know, I'm Mónica from Blog del Inglés. And I am the author of this blogdelingles.com. And here with me today is Craig. How are you today,
Hi.
Craig?
Hello. Thanks for joining us.
And I think nobody is joining today.
Thanks for watching the replay.
Yeah, somebody's joining. Probably Gemma. Okay. So what are we talking about today? It's a very interesting topic.
Yes.
Okay, we have now 3 people
It's
joining.
very useful. We're going
Very
to talk about irregular verb patterns. Now, you might have studied this when you were learning English in the beginning years ago, but it's really important to keep practicing these irregular verb forms because they're easy to forget, aren't they, Monica? If you don't use them very often, you can forget them.
Yes, and the idea, yeah, Gemma's here and Heide is here.
Hi,
Thank you for
Gemma. Hi,
coming.
Heidi. Good to see you.
The idea, I came up with this because I always say that verbs are very important when you speak, you have to know how to conjugate the verbs, because if you don't know how to conjugate the verbs, it sounds very silly. It's like in Spanish, it's the same thing. If you don't know the tense, if it is past tense, if it is past participle, or if it is an infinitive, you don't know. And most people in Spain, I don't know about South America, but most people in Spain, when they went to school, they study the verbs in the written form. So like 3 columns, no? And they never really heard the sound of the verbs. They just study how you spell them. And that creates a big problem later because you know how to spell the verbs and now how to say it. And so I remember my first student saying to me, the first time I heard this, come, come, come. And I said, what is that verb? I said, I never heard a verb like that. And then I realized that they learned the verbs by, just memorizing the spelling. And that creates lots of problems. So today, to try to solve these problems, we're going to, like Craig said, we're going to speak about verbs patterns. And why verb patterns? Because it's easier to memorize them if you see that they are the same. No? This is what we're going to try to do in a fun way. And we're going to ask questions and see if we can conjugate them without hesitating too much. No? Okay, so there is a group of verbs, and I would like to start with this. There is a group of verbs that are always the same, and there are lots of them. I think I counted like probably 9 or 10 verbs that are always the same.
In 3 forms, yeah, they don't
Yeah,
change.
the form, the infinitive, past, and the past participle is always the same, and the sound is exactly the same. So here we have, for example, set. Set, that is a verb that has many, many meanings, but we can say, for example, set is colocar or poner. Set, put, poner, put, put. Cut, cortar, cut, and hit, pegar, dar golpes, no? Hit. So it's always the same, very easy.
Can I say something? Can you go back 1 second? One point about pronunciation. As if you heard Monica pronunciating, if you heard pronouncing those words. If you notice the second and third verb, they both have the letter U, but the pronunciation is different. So the first one, Monica said, put. The U is pronounced U, put. Yeah. However, the second one is an ah sound. You open your mouth more. It's the same sound as up or cup. So cut, put and cut. The same letter, a different sound. And be careful of that H sound on hit. It's not from the throat. It's not it's hit, hit.
Yeah. It's not a jota, no? It's hit.
Hit.
And very short.
Like
hit.
you're cleaning your glasses.
Yeah.
Hit. That's the sound.
And then I have this for you, correct?
Yes, hurt, let, and bid. Now, hurt, if you're a Spanish speaker, and I know Heidi and Gemma are both Spanish speakers, so hurt is hacer daño. I hurt my leg. Yesterday, I hurt my leg. I have hurt my leg. The three forms are the same, no change. The same with let me begin, for example, and bid. Now, when do you bid? You bid when you go to an auction. If you want to buy something, you bid against another person. Gemma says £10. Heidi says £20. Gemma says £25. You're bidding against each other. Monica, have you ever bid for anything at an auction?
No, it's too. No, I'm afraid not.
Me neither.
Because this is, I've seen it, but I've never done it myself, because it usually, I don't know, an auction is usually for work of art, expensive pieces of collectors or something like that. I normally don't do that. That's
cars.
Not my
you can
field.
bid for a car.
Oh yeah, for cars. And I remember. Oh, but sometimes they do it also at the markets. I'm thinking sometimes when I don't know, when they're selling things. I don't know if I saw this in the Netherlands, not here in Spain, that at the last moment when they're going to close, they start saying, who wants to buy this and how much you give them. Then finally,
how do you say auction in Spanish? Do you know?
Subasta. Subastar. A bid is pujar. The name is in Spanish is pujar. Pujar for.
Bid.
Then we have bet. Bet. It's sometimes confused with bid because it's similar, but bet doesn't. It's not exactly the same. Bet is apostar. So this is in the game. So for example, I bet you you're going to win the lottery. Craig.
I don't think so, because I never buy a ticket. I'm not very lucky.
First you have to buy it to win the lottery. That
otherwise
you can use it in a figurative way, like bet. I bet she's going to call you, for example. This is in a figurative way, but you can also bet in a game. For example, do you like betting?
No, I'm not a gambler. I don't like gambling. But my parents went when I lived in the UK. My parents went to casinos a lot, and they used to bet. They used to gamble at casinos. My mother was a big gambler. She loved to play roulette and cards, and she bets.
Bet and gamble are the same. They mean the same. Yeah.
Yes, gamble is more generative. So if you buy a lottery ticket, you're gambling, but you're not really betting on something. The preposition with bet is on, because you can bet on horses, you can bet on dogs, you can bet on cards, and gambling is more generative.
Casino. Yeah, I think more for casinos, bingo, and all these things. My mother was also a gambler. She liked to go. She enjoyed very much going to casinos. I don't know why, and I never liked it.
I don't like it either.
No, I didn't like it either. Nobody else. It was only her, and also my grandmother had the same habit. And she enjoyed so much to go to the casino, but we went with her when I turned 18, because you cannot go as a kid.
Right.
I went with her sometimes, and I was just looking because I thought it was a lot of risk. You can lose a lot of money if you start gambling. So bet. Yeah. Okay, let's go with the split. Split is separar. Split. So split it's kind of the Germanic term for separate, because separate is Latin, I think. Split. You split, you divide into two, That's another way of saying. In broadcast, I love this word because it's always the same. Broadcast is transmitir por radio y televisión. Is the British Broadcast Company. Isn't it BBC?
That's right.
Acronym. So British Broadcast Company. I bet they didn't know. Gemma, did you know that BBC was British Broadcast Company? Because most people I ask, they didn't know. So it's a funny verb. I love this verb, broadcast. Now, let's start with the patterns. I'm going to do this one. Here we have a pattern. O-W, E-W, O-W, N. And first set, well, we can do it together. Blow, blew, blown. When was the last time you blew a candle at my place?
I've never blown a candle at your place because you've never invited me to your place.
That's true.
So I've never blown a candle
So
out
blow, blew,
at your
blown.
place. You didn't invite me to your birthday party this year.
No.
Last year.
So he has never blown a candle at my place. Gemma says no, that she didn't know that BBC, you see, was British Broadcast Company. So she said, interesting. Thank you, Gemma. Now, another question for Craig. When was the last time you grew pot or marijuana at home?
I know I'm forgetful, but it's not because I'm growing marijuana. I've never grown marijuana. I've smoked some, but I've never grown it.
Yeah.
I've never grown it.
So you know, grow is crecer, but also cultivar. So there's two meanings there.
Grow, grew, grown. Actually, nothing grows in this flat because we live quite close to the beach. So the air is full of salt from the sea and it kills the plants. So really the only thing that we've grown in this flat really is cactus, because cactus can survive.
Cactus can survive.
They're very strong.
They're very strong, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So can you think of one of these questions of when was the last time with the verb know? I think it's not possible because know is a verb that is not a movement verb. It's a stative verb.
It's a stative verb, yeah.
And it's very difficult to say when was the last time. So
have you ever known me to speak Spanish?
Have you ever known me? Okay. No, I have never known you to speak Spanish. Yes, I have. Yes. I knew that you spoke Spanish the moment I saw you. You look like you spoke Spanish.
Badly.
Known you known. Known you known. So known you. When was the last time? But could I say something like this? When was the last time you knew how to break into house? That's not, it's a strange question. When was the last time you knew how to break? Now, because it's not a movement. You don't say many times. No.
It's not. It doesn't really go well with when was the last time. You can say have you ever known a famous person?
That's true. Have you ever
known
how to break in?
Person?
No. Have you ever known how to break into a house?
No, I've never known that. No.
It's just a technique.
I'm a good citizen.
You never know.
The next one is throw, threw, thrown.
That's much easier.
Monica, have you ever thrown anything at your husband?
I think so. I think I have thrown something like when I was cooking and he didn't pay attention to me or something like that. I've thrown some.
You've thrown an avocado at or something.
Or avocado or sock. Some kind of thing. If I'm doing something, I just throw it, and I really like it. Especially you do this with kids, like playing. You start playing, you start throwing things. But when was the last time you threw some socks to me? A bowl of socks.
A bowl of socks. I don't think I've ever thrown a bowl of socks at anybody.
Okay, so throw, threw, thrown. Throw, threw, thrown. And when was the last time you flew? You flew to Senegal?
I've never flown to Senegal. I've flown to Africa a couple of times, but I've never flown.
But not to Senegal. Well, you've flown to many places. You have flown to many places, but
when was the last time you flew somewhere?
When was the last time I flew? Last summer. Croatia.
Oh,
I
that's right. You
flew
flew to Croatia.
Croatia. Yeah, that was the last time I flew. So fly, flew, flown.
Yeah, that verb is very tricky. That verb,
Mm.
students often get those three forms mixed up. Be careful. It's
Yeah.
fly, flew, flown, and of course the noun is flight, to catch a flight.
Flight.
Hi, Christine.
Christine, hi.
Christine
We
is
just
in the
saw
house.
you. Yes.
We're looking at irregular verb
Thank you.
patterns.
Okay, and let's see. This pattern is quite. It's more difficult, I think.
Yeah.
U.
You.
I-A-U.
So there are some
And
verbs that are
here,
irregular, and there's some examples here. And yes, they are irregular. That's one difficulty. But there is a pattern, and Monica has grouped these verbs together because the pronunciation follows the same pattern. Let me say the first verb for you. Begin, began, begun. So there are three separate sounds. The first one is, let's start here. The first one is I, in, begin. The second one is difficult if you're a Spanish speaker because I don't think this sound exists in
No.
Spanish, in Castellano. And the sound is ah.
Let's practice.
Everyone together. Come on, Heidi. Say it, Emma. Say it with me.
You sound like a frog.
Cat.
Like begun.
Began. Now, if you speak Valenciano or if you speak Catalan, I think you have that sound but it doesn't exist in Spanish.
No.
So it's begin, began. And the last one, you do know, it's like up. We had that at the beginning. Begun.
I call it the del tonto. Begun.
That's it. Begun.
Yeah, that's the difference. Begun.
Begin, began, begun.
Mm-hmm.
And the other verbs follow exactly the same pronunciation pattern. Begin, began, begun. Drink, drank, drunk. Ring, rang, rung. Do we have any more?
Yes. Wait a minute.
If you don't know the meaning of these verbs, please write in the chat and we will tell you. Sing, sang, sung. Exactly the same pronunciation.
Mila is here.
Monica, when was the last time you sang in the shower?
I sang yesterday. I always sing in the shower.
You always sing in the shower?
No, I don't remember when was the last time I sang in the shower.
Me neither. I think in the shower. I have ideas in the shower.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I don't sing.
But I'm not I've never sung. I've never sung. If you have trouble, audience, if you have trouble with you just say like long time and then sung, shrunk, stung.
The most difficult sound is that middle one, the
middle one. Yeah, the middle one is
more difficult. Think of words like
cat, sang, cat,
and hat,
shrank,
and that, and sat, sit, sat.
The same. Sit, sat.
The same sound.
I don't have that. Sat.
And the next
verb
was
the last time? When was the last time you shrank?
The last time I shrank was when I went outside in the rain. To shrink is to get smaller, especially when you get something wet. For example, if you have a jumper or a sweater that's made of wool, in Spanish lana, and you wash it in the washing machine in hot water, maybe it will shrink. Encoger.
Yeah.
Monica, a question for you. Do sheep shrink in the rain?
I think they do, because if they have wool, the wool shrinks. A real wool, because now...
Yeah, they get smaller,
at least
don't
they get smaller, because, also a dog can get smaller because the hair is not fluffy anymore. Fluffy means...
pelusa, something like that?
No, pelusa is another meaning, but fluffy means como esponjoso, no? Like has a lot of air inside. But if it rains, it gets wet, so it shrinks. It's the same for the
Peluda,
he.
peludo.
Peludo. And when was the last time you were stung by a bee? Well,
Yeah, notice that's in the passive, isn't it? Because bees
you,
sting us,
you were
and we
stung. Yeah.
are stung by bees. To
Yeah.
sting.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a few years, probably when I was a child. I haven't been stung for a long time. Have you
Yeah,
been
because
stung recently?
yes, but I don't even remember when, because it's something that happens usually in the summer when you're not paying attention. And maybe you're walking in bathing suit or something like that, and you go, and then you get stung. Get, or I was stung, no? So get, it's the process of getting.
What's interesting is that a bee or a wasp stings
Mm.
you, but a mosquito bites you.
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah, because it's a different artifact. It's a different tool. One is the mouth,
Mm-hmm.
so you bite, and the other one uses a little, like something like a needle. That's this thing. Yeah. This is
And the other verb is swim, swam, swum. Again, the same pronunciation pattern.
swam.
I, a, ah. Swim, swam, swum. Look at my mouth. I, a, ah.
Oh,
I, a, ah.
oh.
Swim, swam, swum.
Let's see if you can do it.
It's
Anybody
difficult.
can do it. I'm wondering if in the audience people can do it.
Sting, stang, stung. The musician Sting. Do you know why they call him Sting? The
Sting,
musician
the
from the
musician Sting. I
Police.
don't
Yeah.
know. It's his last name. I thought it was his last name.
No, his name's Gordon Somner. The reason they call him Sting is when he was young and
I
he
didn't
played
know
in the
that.
band in the
Yeah.
beginning, he used to wear a jumper or a t-shirt that was like yellow and black, like a bee.
Like a bee. That was the reason.
That's the
No
reason.
idea.
Yeah.
No
Mhm.
idea. Never heard about that. I really thought it was his name. I thought, well, this is his name. Well, it can be called
His name's
like
Gordon.
Gordon. Nothing to
Mhm.
do. Okay, now we have this pattern, like ought, OUGHT. And then this is example, bring, brought, brought. When was the last time you brought me home?
I don't think I've ever brought you home.
Yeah,
No.
okay, so it's the same. Bring,
In
brought,
fact,
brought.
we've only met in person. Your
Yes,
husband brought you to Valencia in the car,
exactly.
or you brought him. I don't know who drove,
He
but
usually drives,
so
so
he
he
brought you.
brought me. Okay,
Yeah.
to bring. There's a lot of problems with this verb and take. Bring, brought, brought.
Hmm.
Take, to, taken, because you don't know when you bring and when you take.
Yeah.
Your husband brought you. You say it because you are in Valencia. But if you were not in
Yeah.
Valencia, is your husband took you to Valencia? I
That's
think.
right. So you take from here to there,
Yeah,
but you
exactly.
bring from there to here.
Heide is asking, yellow and black Arsenal?
Arsenal? No, Arsenal are red and white usually.
I have no idea. This
When
is
they
football fans.
play away and not in their home stadium, they wear yellow. Yeah, they wear yellow and black when they play away from their
Oh,
stadium.
maybe it's
Sometimes
just, yeah.
that's their away colors. But when
Mhm.
they play at home, then they play in red and white.
Yellow and black like a bee.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're doing this buy, bought. And here in this case, when was the last time you bought a palace, Craig?
I bought a palace.
Yes. This is a silly question, so
Um,
you use the past participle.
the last time I bought a palace, I
Yes.
have never bought a palace.
I
I
have
only
never
in my
bought a palace.
dreams, maybe in a different life.
Yeah.
When was the last
And
time you bought a present for someone?
well, I bought a present for someone probably last month. Yes,
Hmm.
in January. I bought many presents.
Of
So
course,
not
you're
too
the
long
Three
ago.
Kings. Yeah.
Yes. So buy, bought. When was the last time you fought against my husband?
Your husband's a big guy. I will never fight against your husband. He's bigger than me. I never fight against people who are bigger than me.
No. It's not a good idea. I've never fought against your health. When was the last time you thought? How would you say that? Give me you. I would like you to ask this question. Imagination.
Well, let's explain what it means, because it's not
Six
a
of thought. Yeah, it
common.
means
It's not
to
a
look
common
for.
verb.
No?
It means to look for.
Look for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if it's a little more formal, you can say, I'm looking for a partner, a life partner. I'm seeking a life partner. So there's no preposition. Obviously, you look for something, but you just seek something, which means look for something. The meaning is very, very similar. Seek is not as common, and it's a little more formal. I'm seeking a new position of
Yes.
employment, for example. So it's a
Yeah.
really nice verb to look. Sorry,
Okay.
it's a really nice verb to use in a job
Interviews.
application letter
Yes.
or an interview. Yeah.
Interview. By the
Why are
way, you offer a course on interviews. You can let's.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
If you would like to seek a course on
Yes.
job interviews, go to mentioningles.com
Info.
and you'll find one. Yeah.
So six of
And
thought.
sort is the past participle in the past form.
So, and then the last one is think, thought, thought. That is quite easy if you know the pattern. Think, thought, thought. Have you ever thought about going to Rome, for example?
I have been to Rome, and I thought when I was in Rome, what a lovely city this is.
Yes. And then another place. Have you ever thought about going to Alaska?
Yes, many times. I think Alaska's beautiful. Have you ever been to Alaska? Have you thought about going?
No. I still have to visit many places, but with
Me
the
too.
COVID, everything is stopped. So, well, I've been traveling. You haven't been traveling.
No,
Maybe.
maybe this year we'll go somewhere. I've
Finally,
been thinking about going
I've been
somewhere,
thinking.
but
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Thought. Then we have.
What's
this
Christine saying? Christine is saying seek asylum. Yes, that's a nice collocation.
That's nice collocation. Look, seek revenge. Seek. Oh, thank you, Christine, because I said
Thank you.
I just left it for Craig to think of an example. And here we have many collocations: seek asylum, seek revenge, seek clarification, advice, and help.
Seek
Very
asylum is really, really common these days in the news. Yeah. Some immigrants are seeking asylum after having traveled across the ocean.
I would say that you see it a lot headlines. This word is for headlines, no?
Yeah.
Usually.
Prime Minister seeks apology for whatever.
For being so silly.
for being an idiot. Yeah.
Let's not get
let's not get into politics.
No, because they tell you that as a teacher you should never talk about politics or religion.
Or
These
sex.
two things are forbidden. Or sex.
Politics, religion, and sex. They're the three most popular, exciting, interesting things to talk about. I always talk about politics, religion, and sex.
In your classes?
Yeah, of course. Because people have opinions. They like to talk about it, and that's communication. Why not?
I don't know. It depends, because sometimes it's not so easy, because you get controversial and sometimes they don't like you. So
my opinion, I mean, I'm sorry this is not on the topic
off topic.
Please allow me to go off topic just for a minute. Yeah. I'm getting really frustrated and annoyed that people don't seem to be able to express opinions and discuss things like adults anymore. There's this cultural prohibition of giving opinions because we don't want to offend anybody, and everybody's so defensive. And I just think if we're adults and if we respect people we're talking to, we should be able to give opinions on religion and on politics without arguing.
This is
sorry, but I feel very strongly about that.
I totally agree with that. Yeah, this is true.
Anyway, back to the grammar.
Back to the grammar. We have a new set of verbs, E-E-N. And I love this one.
Yeah, this is these are very often mispronounced, aren't they?
Exactly. These are the most this is top number one. I didn't put them at the beginning because I thought I'm going to start easy. But these groups of verbs, everybody mispronounces them. And the big
Christine,
mistake.
Gemma, Mila, Heidi, I want you to say these verbs now aloud, say them, and then listen to us and see if you said them correctly.
Okay. So drive, drove, driven. There's the problem that everybody says drive like as if it were a gerund, and it's not a gerund. Ride, rode, ridden. Rise, rose, risen. Write, wrote, written, not writing. Okay, that is it. So we're going to practice. When was the last time you drove a Ferrari?
I have driven a Ferrari, actually.
I have driven, okay? He says it right. I have said, well, if you don't say it right, who is going to say it right? I have driven a Ferrari, okay?
I drove a Ferrari before the pandemic when I flew to Italy for 2 weeks. And I went to Modena, and Modena is where the Ferrari factory is.
Oh, that was a nice
And
trip.
you can rent a Ferrari for 45 minutes.
45 minutes? And how much does it cost?
Oh, it was expensive. I don't remember exactly, but it was expensive. But I thought it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to drive a Ferrari.
45 minutes is a long time. And do you have a special, like, how do you call that? The track where you can...
No, you drive it on the road.
On the road, like a normal...
around the town of Modena. Yeah.
Modena. Oh,
with an instructor.
Nice.
There's a person
next to you. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was
because
an amazing
is it very different
experience.
from a normal car? Is it very different?
Yes, it's very different. Yeah. There was a time where there was a car in front of me and I wasn't sure whether I would overtake the car or not. And I tried, and the guy next to me, the man next to me said, "Go, go, go." I said, "I have enough." He said, "Yeah." So I put my foot down
and the thing, it was flying.
In a second, it was like an aeroplane.
And
it was amazing.
What speed can they reach, the Ferraris?
Well, it was on the road, so they can go past 200 kilometers. Yeah, but I didn't go that fast because
no, but you get a fine,
afraid.
No? Obviously.
Yeah.
Nah, you get a fine. You cannot probably. So drive, drove, driven. When was the last time you rode a horse at my place?
Do you have horses?
I used to have when I was a kid. No, I don't have horses.
So no, I've never ridden a horse at Monica's house.
Okay, ridden. You
ridden.
Can ask me.
Ride,
ridden.
road, ridden.
Not riding, because people say riding. No. Ride, road, ridden. So I'm going to ask, have the... A ver, let me see, the last one. No, the one before the last one. Have the prices risen?
Prices prices have risen recently, haven't they? Because of inflation. There's inflation in the world. So prices are rising everywhere. And lots of prices have
rising.
Risen.
Yes. Prices are rising. That's a gerund. And prices have risen. Be careful there. That's the difference.
Have you noticed how much prices have risen when you do your shopping?
Yes. I have noticed. And in fact, I noticed because there's less money to spend and it's more difficult to make ends meet because almost everything has risen. All the prices every year. Starting by electricity, gas, and well, Spain is relatively cheap compared to other countries, but also the salaries are lower. So there's not so much purchasing power around here.
Yeah, that's true. The last one is write, wrote, written. Monica, when was the last time you wrote a letter to someone?
It was a long time, I think, because now you use WhatsApp or something like that. But I wanted to know, when was the last time you wrote a poem in Japanese?
I have never written a poem in Japanese.
Okay.
It's a haiku, isn't it? A Japanese poem?
Yes, a haiku.
A haiku.
Yes, it's to this.
I've never. Have you ever written a haiku?
No. I used to write poems when I was a kid or a teenager, and then suddenly all these romantic feelings disappear, and I never wrote a poem again. So
That's
I used
sad.
to write poems, but it's most like that. I think most people experience that. You know, they write poems when they're younger, and sometimes perhaps when you're older, when you have more time, you can think of writing poems. So write, wrote, written, write, wrote, written, drive, drove, driven, write, wrote, ridden, rise, rose, risen.
Risen.
Okay, next one.
Yeah, only 2 in this category.
Yeah, I didn't find more.
Yeah.
Can you think of another one that they have the same category?
I don't think so.
Pattern?
No. Sell.
No.
You
Sell.
sell things and you buy things. So
Yeah.
sell, sold, sold. So the second and third form, the
Are the
past and the
same.
past participle are the same. Oh, sold. Sell, sold, sold. And tell, told, told.
When was the last time you sold your soul to the devil?
That's an interesting question. Or perhaps more interesting, if you sold your soul, that's difficult to say, isn't it? If you sold your soul,
Only one time.
tu alma, if you sold your soul to the devil, what would you want in return? Haha.
Yeah, this is a philosophical question.
Yes.
Sell, soul, soul, and tell, told, told. When was the last time you told me
a
to
lie.
shut up? You told a lie.
Told you to shut up.
Yes, I was going to say that. When was the last time you told?
I've never
I
told
never
you to
shut
shut
up.
up. I'm much too polite for that.
I agree. I totally agree. So sell, soul, soul, tell, told, told. Sell, soul, soul, tell, told, told. It's very easy. I think this is we still have some to go. Where we're getting we shouldn't get bored. So here we have. I'll leave this for Craig because he loves to be bound.
Who told you that? I love to be bound.
So what is the meaning of bound?
Well, let's look at the pronunciation first. So the pattern we have here is I, as in bind, find, and grind, and then ow, like now or cow. So bind, bound, bound. The second and third form are the same. What does that mean? To bind? Well, to bind something is to, in Spanish, you might say atar, I think, when you tie something up with string or with rope, for example. You can also say to bind a book. Years ago, they used to take wax and they used to take material and thread to bind books together, to join the books together. Bind, bound, bound. So I don't think I've ever been bound. Not that I can remember. And I've never bound anybody. I don't think so.
Gemma says unir.
Yes.
I think it's encuadernar. The other meaning. Well, unir also, but it can be used. In fact, binder.
Binder, yeah.
A binder is something to put the things together, no? In the leaflets or whatever.
Binder. In the dictionary, it says amarrar or atar or ribetear.
Ribetear, yeah. Amarrar,
the example, the
bind,
workers bind the logs together before they are transported to the factory. There you go.
Bind.
And then obviously find, found, and grind. What do you grind? Well, you grind coffee, for example. Moler.
You grind flour.
And you grind pepper.
Pepper, yeah.
Pepper
for the
grinder.
Salad, usually tastes better if you grind it.
So ground you can use obviously as the verb in the second and third form, but also as an adjective because you have ground coffee And ground pepper is very,
Yes.
very small pieces
Very
of pepper.
thin. Yeah.
Do you grind your own coffee or do you buy it already ground?
My husband, he grinds his own coffee. He has a machine. He likes it. I don't
Yeah.
drink coffee, so he has it. Yes. And you?
It's a lovely
Mm.
smell. No,
Yes.
we don't grind our own coffee. We used to grind our own coffee, but we buy our coffee ground already ground. Yeah.
Yeah. Here,
And
enlazar. This
lazar,
is
yeah.
about bound. Okay, she said. Thank you,
Yeah,
Gemma.
that's true. Thank you, Gemma.
Yeah. This we have. I think we have to go for another pattern. And this one, it was the come come kame. This I'll do this one because the first time I heard this, it was funny. Become, became, become. So the first one is the same as the past participle, the last one, and the origin is come, came, come. Okay, come, came, come. So he became the president of the United States. I came home at 5 o'clock. Has he come? Ha llegado, ha venido. So venir y llegar a ser. So become, became, come, and come, came, come. Okay.
When was the last time you became angry?
To become angry. Oh, 2 days ago. I try not to become angry, but sometimes it's impossible because you have a lot of stress or because you're doing something, you're very busy, whatever. You become angry. And when was the last time you became angry?
This morning.
Oh, yes. You see?
I had a problem with something I was trying to do on the internet and I became very angry. It's probably more common to say get angry in conversational English. I got angry.
Yeah, I got angry.
Became is a bit more formal.
It's like become a president or become some, to turn into, no? To become something. Next one, EPT, EPT. Like
this is
we were talking about.
Last group, isn't it?
Yes, this is the last group because it's 8:45 almost. So what do we have here? Creep. Oh, you're a creep. When I hear the first time I heard this word, you're a creep. What is that? Has many meanings. This word, creep, crept, crept. Oh, you can give me an example.
Yes, if you come home drunk and you don't want to wake up your husband, your wife, your boyfriend or girlfriend, what do? Obviously, you take off your shoes, you try not to make any noise, and you creep quietly up the stairs or you creep to sleep on the sofa so you don't make any noise. So to creep is to move silently, and the past is crept. Creep, crept, crept. Sometimes those two consonants together can be problematic for Spanish speakers. It's pt, crept,
yes.
crept.
Como in the case of keep.
But of course, if you are a creep, that using the adjective, then you are an unusually strange and suspicious person. There's a very, very good song by Radiohead called Creep that I love. So if you haven't heard it, go to YouTube and search for Creep by Radiohead and see if you like the song. It's really, really good. And check the lyrics and read the lyrics in English. Creep. Have you heard that song?
Creep? I don't think so. No, I'm not sure. Maybe I did, but I don't remember by name. Yeah, maybe I did.
And then kept.
Yeah. Kept. Oh, I don't know where I kept my keys. I don't know if you can say that. I kept my.
I don't
keys.
know where I put my keys.
Yeah, it's more put.
Where do you keep?
Keep is
Mónica, where do you keep all your extra money? Do you keep it under the mattress?
There's not too much extra money to keep.
Do you keep it in the teapot?
I kept my money. I used to keep. I would say I used to keep, not kept. I used to keep my money in my pockets. Sometimes in the raincoat or the the coat. Well, I don't know. I said I did experiment. I just put like something like 10 euros in a jacket, and then I forgot about it. And then later you wear it and you say, "Oh, look, I found 10 euros." So I kept it in a pocket. I kept the money in a pocket for a long time. Forget about it, and then it's a surprise. You want to surprise yourself? Just hide things around the house, and then finally you find them accidentally. So
Christine knows the song. Yeah, I'm a creep, I'm a weirdo. She knows the song.
Oh, somebody, Christine, yeah? Let me see.
What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I'm a creep, I'm a weirdo. I was going to say weirdo.
So creep, crept, crept, sleep, slept, slept, sweep, swept, swept. When was the last time you swept your house, Monica?
I swept right before my classes. I swept the kitchen. Usually I sweep the kitchen every day. I sweep the kitchen every day because it's very difficult to keep it clean. You're always having crumbs all over. Yeah, crumbs and food and some kind of liquid, anything. So I swept the kitchen.
And weep is an interesting verb because
when was the last time you wept because of a broken heart?
Because of a broken heart. I don't remember. I weep a lot when I watch television. I get very emotional sometimes when I watch a sad film. To weep means to cry. It's a simile. It's the same.
Yeah,
to weep and to cry.
It's the same.
But it's a bit more poetic and not so common. So obviously you cry. That's a very common verb. I cried yesterday when I watched a film. But to weep, maybe it's a little bit more emotional to weep. I wept for a lost love, for example.
I think it's more tears than with cry. Weeping is more tears. Banners. I used to sleep like a log, but not now.
Yeah, same with me, Christine. I have problems sleeping at the moment. Yeah, I have amnesia. Amnesia? No. What's the word when you can't sleep?
No.
There is a word, isn't there?
Insomnia.
Insomnia. Amnesia is when you lose your memory, and that's what I'm
exactly.
losing.
And then we have these were some quiz, but I think we already did many of these questions. We can probably just review the whole list.
Let's review the pronunciation.
Insomnia, yeah. So let's review here. The first group is very easy. Set, put, cut, and hit.
Bet, split, and broadcast.
I forgot this one. Hurt, let, bit. And now first pattern. O-W, E-W, O-W, N. Blow, blew, blown.
Grow, grew, grown.
Know, knew, known.
Throw, threw, thrown.
Fly, flew, flown. Pattern I-A-U.
Begin, began, begun.
Drink, drank, drunk.
Ring, rang, rung.
Sing, sang, sung.
Shrink, shrank, shrunk.
Sting, stung, stung.
And swim, swam, swum.
Pattern O-U-G-H-T. Bring, brought, brought.
Buy, bought, bought.
Fight, fought, fought.
Seek, sought, sought.
Think, thought, thought. Pattern E and E-N. Drive, drove, driven.
Ride, rode, ridden.
Rise, rose, risen.
And write, wrote, written.
Pattern E-L-L-O. Sell, sold, soul.
And tell, told, told.
Pattern I-O-U-O-U. Bind, bound, bound.
Find, found, found.
Grind, ground, ground. Pattern O-M-E. A-M-E and O-M-E. Become, became, become.
And come, came, come.
Pattern, E-P-T, E-P-T. Creep, crept, crept.
Keep, kept, kept.
Sleep, slept, slept.
And sweep, swept, swept.
Weep, wept, wept. Okay, that's it. It seems
That's it.
like we finished. I thought it was going to take longer, well, but it didn't. We went very fast. I was thinking, oh, it's going to get to 9 o'clock. It's going to be too late. Okay.
Yeah, me too. But
Oh.
there are a lot of words here, and be careful because they are easily confused, and especially be careful with that I, a pattern.
Yeah,
Begin, began, begun.
that's very difficult to.
And also, I hear a
say.
lot of mistakes with bring, brought, brought. The or sound, like door or saw or more, or. So bought,
And
bought.
also drive, drove, driven, not
Yes.
drive, drove, driving. Okay, or rise, rose, risen, ride,
Mhm.
rose, ridden. So it's all the same pattern. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching.
This
And
is-
let's see. You have an announcement to make about your course. You have to say something about your. Did you finish your course?
Oh yes, the course is finished. I've finished testing it with a lovely group of 10 students who helped me to find the mistakes. There were one or two things that I corrected in the course, so it is now for sale for anybody thinking of taking the B2 first, the Cambridge B2 first exam. So if you want any if you have any questions, you want more information, go to englishmasterclass.net, englishmasterclass.net, where you will find all the details about the course. And there's a level test that you can take to see if you have the level. And if you have the B2 level, you're ready to go ahead and take the course. So if you need any information, you can contact me through that website.
Okay, remember Mansión del Inglés and English Podcast. And in my case, you can visit blogdelingles.com. And there you will find a lot of information about English and Spanish, explanations. So thank you very much.
Thank
Hope
you.
to
Thank
see
you,
you in
Gemma, for being with us,
Yeah.
and Christine and Heidi and
Yes.
everybody who's watching. Lovely to see you again. And next week, I'll be back with Lynn.
Lynn. Okay, bye-bye.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.